It is time. The wait is finally over. Prime card final predictions. I'm going to go through these prelims pretty quickly. We got a lot of fights to go through, and a lot of them are main event worthy. First up, we got SX versus DTG. SX making his debut here, not much to go off of. He is fighting out of the same gym as KSI. I haven't really seen too much footage. DTG, we've seen him fight Halal Ham on Misfits in the past. He lost in a decision, a very close fight. A lot of people thought he won it. I liked his aggression in that fight. He was not scared to come forward. I'm expecting to see improvement. This one's kind of a toss-up. I'm going to go DTG by a decision. Up next, we got Astrid Wet versus Alexia Grace. Astrid Wet, we've probably seen her fight the most on Misfits out of all the female fighters. She is definitely coming into this with more experience than Alexia Grace. I don't think she has any kind of knockout power, so I definitely don't see a finish coming from either fighter. I'm going with Astrid Wet by a decision. And then we got the Misfits heavyweight title, Chase Damore versus Tempo Arts. I see a lot of people picking Chase Damore here, but I'm not sold. He has been pretty uncoordinated in the past. I haven't seen that much improvement from him. I know he's going to be difficult to put away. He is a big guy, and his only chance at victory, in my opinion, is if his size just completely takes over. His strength is just too much for Tempo Arts. But I think Tempo Arts has the better skill set. I've been impressed in the past. He's been in the gym improving. This one, even though it's a title fight, is only 4 rounds. I know they're heavyweights, but I'm going with another decision. I'm going with Tempo Arts. I believe this next one is the final fight of the prelims, Swarms versus Ryan Taylor 2. When we first saw Swarms in that KSI fight, he was out of shape. He didn't know what he was doing. But over time, he has become kind of a Misfits fan favorite. He's had a great weight transformation, and he is putting in work in the gym. He is an athletic guy, and I've seen improvements in each fight. He went the distance with Deji. He got second in Misfits Survivor Tag. I was impressed in that one. Ryan Taylor, not very technical, but he is a tough fighter. We saw him go the distance against Slim. I really don't see Ryan Taylor outboxing him, and I don't see him putting him away. But I also can't see Swarms putting Ryan Taylor away. I think he's going to stay on the outside, use his jab. And I got another decision here. I'm going with Swarms. And then we have the return of Misfits tag team. We got Nick Lamau and Alex Wasabi versus B. Dave and Luis Pineda. I've talked about this fight in my other videos a good amount. I think it's a mismatch. I think Nick and Alex Wasabi are going to win this one kind of easily. I think Pineda is around their skill level, but B-Dave is just not there, in my opinion. I think both Alex and Nick both outbox him and can even put him away. So Pineda's going to have to put the team on his back. I don't think he's going to be able to do it by himself. Maybe B-Dave will surprise me, prove me wrong. But I actually think this is going to be our first finish of the night. Nick Lamau getting better and better. I know a lot of people like to hate on Alex Wasabi, but he is a solid fighter for this scene. I'm going with Team Wasabi Lamau by a 3rd round finish. Up next, we got the superstar from Brazil, Whindersson Nunes versus my mate Nate. 2 guys coming from the Kingpin tournament. Both have losses against King Kenny, and I think this one's going to be very competitive. I think they have a similar skill set. I like this matchup. Both guys are coming for redemption here. They're going to want to show what they've been working on in the gym, and this is actually one of the tougher calls for me. I like both fighters, and I really do think it can go either way, but when it comes down to it, I think Whindersson just has more toughness about him. I think he's more experienced. He's been training for longer. I'm going to go with Whindersson Nunes by decision. We got a lot of decisions here, but as we get closer to the main event, I think we're going to see a lot more finishes. We got 5 fights left. All 5 of these ones could be main events. I mentioned that in my last video. I love all 5 of these last fights. And this one is another tough call. We got King Kenny versus Anthony Taylor. King Kenny putting on a dominant performance in his last fight against Whindersson Nunes. We saw a new confident version of him, something we haven't seen before. He was having fun in there and he completely dominated. And Anthony Taylor, coming off of his Salt Poppy win, he is a pressure move forward fighter. He says that is exactly what he's going to do here. He is going to put the pressure on King Kenny, and he is coming for the knockout. I know he beat Salt Poppy, but I just think King Kenny is a better matchup for Anthony Taylor. He's going to do everything he can to not let Anthony Taylor on the inside. He has a long reach and one of the best jabs in influencer boxing. I think his coach Daly has prepared him for this. I think he has the tools to do it. I'm going for another decision, but I'm going with King Kenny here. I think he's going to get the job done. And then we have another tough one to call, Dean the Great versus Waleed Sharks 2. Waleed Sharks completely dominating that first fight until Dean the Great landed that right hand and ended the fight with one shot. I think people do kind of forget how that fight was going before that shot landed. And in their last tag team match, I was more impressed with Waleed Sharks. I think he's going to be sharp. He's going to stay focused throughout this fight. I think he's going to be more aware in those later rounds. The only way I really see Waleed losing here is if he gets too emotional in there. We know how much they hate each other. This beef has gone on for a long time, and I do think Dean can get in his head. And if he fights with too much emotion in that ring, I could see Dean catching him again. But I think he can avoid that. I gotta go with Waleed Sharks here. No disrespect to Dean. He is a great fighter, and I wouldn't be shocked if he gets it done. But I think with how much these guys dislike each other, there's gonna be a finish. I'm going Waleed Sharks, 4th round stoppage. And I absolutely love this next fight. Salt Papi versus Slim. The one I didn't think we were gonna get, but they got it done, and I can't wait to see it. Salt Papi, coming off of a loss against AT, had a huge weight transformation. He has been losing weight throughout his time on Misfits, but this one has been the biggest jump yet. Both guys have knockout power. Slim in the past has left himself open to eating shots. I think Salt Papi has the better defense of the two. He's more of the counter puncher. I did see someone say, I think it was King Kenny, that he thinks the weight loss was done too quickly by Salt Papi and he's going to lose his power. And I could see that happening, and if that is true, it will be a huge factor. But I think he's done it at a good enough pace to where it's not going to be too much of a problem. I think he's going to have the power still. I think he's going to be much faster. And just the way Slim's defense has been in the past, I got to lean towards Salt Papi here. I know he's been in the gym. It's been a while since he's fought, and I know he's been working on it. But I think there's going to be a finish in this one. I'm going Salt Papi, 3rd round knockout. And then we got our co-main event, or I guess double main event, with Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis. I do really like this fight. I think it's been entertaining. The build-up has made it even more exciting. I want to see it even more now. But I'm going to keep this one brief because I don't think it's going to be close. I think Logan Paul is going to dominate this one. I don't think Dillon is ready for this. I think he is going to be shocked in that ring. His move forward, take a shot to give a shot strategy is just not doing it for me. I'm sensing an early finish. I think Logan Paul is going to keep him away with the jab. His power is going to be too much. He's the bigger fighter. I'm going with Logan Paul, 2nd round knockout. And then we have our main event, KSI versus Tommy Fury. KSI, a huge underdog in this fight. So many people predicting Tommy to win. I've had these kind of predictions in the past where I've talked about my mind is saying one thing, but my heart is saying another. My mind is saying Tommy Fury, but my heart is saying KSI is going to find a way. He is going to land that right hand and end the fight. And I'm going to do it. I'm going KSI 4th round knockout. Now just hear me out for a second. Here's how I think the fight's going to go. Tommy Fury is going to be winning the fight. I think the jab is going to give KSI a lot of problems, and Tommy Fury is going to pour it on him early. Now here's what I'm thinking. Tommy is super confident in this fight. I've never seen him this confident for any fight in the past. I think he's going to try to put KSI away early. And if he fails, which I think he's gonna, the fight is gonna start to change. I think he is so determined to get KSI out of there early. He has mentioned how it's gonna be embarrassing if KSI goes the distance. I think those first 2 rounds, Tommy's gonna win very clearly. And I think in the 3rd round, KSI's constant forward pressure is gonna slowly start to wear down Tommy. I think KSI is gonna start to land a little bit after Tommy being a little too comfortable in there. And in the 4th round, I think KSI is going to find the money shot. And maybe I am completely wrong about that. And if I am, if Tommy completely dominates this fight, I'll take the L. I'll talk about it in my Prime Card recap video. I'll admit I was wrong, and I'll take the criticism that comes with it. But I just think KSI is going to find a way to get it done. What do you guys think? What are your predictions for this card? What fight are you looking forward to the most? Am I crazy for picking KSI to win this one? Let me know. The next video you guys see, the Prime Card will be over. I plan on doing reactions for a lot of the fights, videos on what's next for the fighters, and a full card recap. So stay tuned. Subscribe for more boxing content and updates. The support is much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Peace.